D-Man, it's no secret the Browns, at least on paper, look like they're struggling at the linebacker position. Do you think they've made enough changes or added enough people that doesn't matter in a game that doesn't put as much credence on the linebacking position as it hasn't over the years?
Yeah, you wonder how it's going to work with the Browns defensively, but I think they're capable of hiding a linebacker deficiency. Number one, with an offense that's potentially explosive and can control the ball, shrink the clock, so your defense isn't going to be on the field as much, presumably, if everybody's playing well. Number two, because your front line has real pieces to it, and obviously we know Miles signed his big deal. So Miles Garrett and company with Richardson and Ogunjobi and hopefully a rejuvenated Olivier Vernon can put so much pressure on the quarterback that the linebackers are hidden a little bit, and then your DBs figure to be good as well if the young guys can progress like they're supposed to. But there's certainly talent on paper, at least potential talent on paper. So I think they could get away with it. The other thing too is it's not like the cupboard is bare at linebacker. You think of a guy like Mac Wilson, BJ Goodson comes in and he could probably be a decent role player. So it's not like they're terrible at linebacker, but clearly on the defense, you talk about three levels. The least effective or the least scary is linebacker.
Do you think they brought all the new coaching staff in and had them do all their evaluations, and they probably agreed on saying, all right, we're going to take care of the offense, we're going to take care of the defensive backfield. Okay, now we'll take next. If we don't get it this year, we'll finish it off next year with the linebackers. Do you think that's how it came down?
It's entirely possible, but there's also the possibility, Les, that they had identified a linebacker that they wanted, either, I don't know, in the draft or free agency or via trade, and they weren't able to acquire him.
Right.
So maybe that, put those plans on hold to address the linebacker situation. But, they would probably tell you that everything has fallen according to plan when they look at their at their depth chart. Because think about Grant Delpit. I mean, he's an example to me of, all right, the Browns looked at Grant Delpit being available to them in the second round and said, we want this guy. We plan on him being an impact player for us at safety, as opposed to who's the next or who's the best linebacker available in the second round.
I think that's how it came out. So notes on the 2020 linebacker group. Key additions, Jacob Phillip and B.J. Goodson, as D-Man said. Key losses, Joe Schobert and Christian Kirksey. Average age of the linebacking core, just 24. Goodson is the only linebacker with 5 years or more experience in the NFL, and they are ranked number 31 out of 32 in the Pro Football Focus linebacker rating. It's interesting because we're talking about the national guys out there. Overrating maybe in many cases some of the positions or the units, and yet there's no fake here. They're 31 out of 32.
Right, and I think a lot of it is because Schobert is gone, and he was, the quote-unquote captain of the defense, incredibly cerebral player. Yes, he missed some tackles along the way, but he's a guy that, you're going to miss him. There's no doubt you're going to miss Joe Schobert. But I'll say this. All I ask, if I'm Stefanski and the crew, and his coaching staff, all I ask for my linebackers, just tackle, okay? Right. Just tackle.
And you're not going to know based on what they've been able to do and not do in practice. You don't know if they can do that.
Right, and we don't have any exhibition games to point to either. So, but too many times over the past few years, the Browns linebacking core, has had an opportunity to tackle somebody and he slipped through their grasp. So that's, to me, job one for this crew.